What is the history of Jerusalem? Jerusalem. Jerusalem, originally called Shalem or Salem. We have Abraham and Isaac at the beginning of the Bible first mentions. Well, first of all, you have Melchizedek, Salem, king of Salem. That points to Jerusalem. Then Abraham is told by God to take his son to go up to a mountain or go up to the land of Moriah, offer up his son. It's a test of Abraham's life. Where is it? Moriah, land of Moriah is Jerusalem. Mount Moriah is Jerusalem. There, it was a place at that time of pagans, the Jebusites, pagan. God gave it to Israel. When you look at the rights of nations, claims are based on basically conquest. One takes over from the other one, and then they claim it until they're taken over. Jerusalem was the capital of Israel when David came. David took Jerusalem, dedicated to God. Solomon built the temple there. They all would go up to Jerusalem. The whole nation would go up to Jerusalem every year, 3 times a year at least, to worship God at the temple of Jerusalem. It was the capital of the kingdom of Israel. The Babylonians came in 586 BC, destroyed the temple and Jerusalem. God ends up bringing them back to Jerusalem, to Israel. But it focuses, when you read the Bible, it focuses on Jerusalem. Ezra goes back, Zerubbabel, and they rebuild Jerusalem. Nehemiah rebuilds the walls, again becomes the capital of Israel. The Greeks rise, Syrians rise. You have Hanukkah. Jerusalem is invaded by Antiochus Epiphanes. He defiles Jerusalem, makes it a pagan city. But by a miracle, the Maccabees, the Jewish fighters, get Jerusalem back, get Israel back. They come to the temple. They rededicate the temple to God. And then comes the time when Messiah comes. Messiah comes to Jerusalem. Cannot complete his mission without coming to Jerusalem. He speaks of Jerusalem the same way the rest of the Bible does. It is the capital of Israel. It's the holy city that God gave to his people. 70 AD, the Romans come in, destroy the city and the temple, reduce it to ruins, begins the scattering of the Jewish people to the ends of the earth. In the next century, the Roman Emperor Hadrian bans all Jews from Jerusalem, and he renames it, makes it a pagan city dedicated to Jupiter, builds pagan shrines around the city of God, and bans the Jewish people, except on one day a year. He allows them to come on the 9th of Av, the day that the Romans destroyed the temple. Rome renames the whole land. Rome says we must erase this land of Israel and erase any connection to the Jewish people. So they come up with a name, and the name to erase the connection, and they call it Palestina. Palestina comes from, in the Bible, when it talks about the land of the Philistines. And so the Romans literally called the land of Israel now the land of the Philistines, Goliath, the enemies of the Jewish people. It was never the land of Israel was never the land of the Philistines, but they call it that, so it becomes known, Palestina, as Palestine. Throughout 2,000 years, people call it Palestine. That was a way of trying to erase the connection that God gave to Israel, call it the land of the Philistines. To this day, to say somebody to call it Palestine, it literally you're saying it belongs to the Philistines. Some churches and Bibles, older ones, hopefully not so many newer ones, have maps that say Palestine in the time of Jesus. There was no such thing as Palestine in the time of Jesus. If someone says I'm a Palestinian, literally what that is saying is I'm a Philistine. It's the same word.
To find out how you can receive more of Jonathan's teachings, to receive special free gifts, or get in touch, go to hopeoftheworld.org or call toll-free 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821. You can also get more at Jonathan Cahn's Facebook page, or write us direct at Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA. Hope of the World is dedicated to the goal of spreading God's Word and salvation to every land and people. We do this by spreading the Word throughout the world and sponsoring compassion projects to the most poor and needy around the earth. To get in touch or have a part in God's work, just write to Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA. Or go to hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821.